You just clap.
Oh, yeah.
Just for the audience, that'd be great. Perfect.
We're doing a documentary on Sam Allardyce.
Yeah?
Bolton, I'm here and about to take part in this interview.
I think that what he made his mark in creating Bolton Wanderers teams that were really beyond everyone's imagination. He managed to gather in world-class players, which, you know, we're saying, how does he do it?
Let's go, Wanderers!
And underneath your jacket.
Yeah.
Rolling, ready whenever you guys are.
Right, okay.
He was ahead of his time. There was absolutely no doubt about it. He was ahead of his time. He was underrated. He was a visionary, without question. He changed the dynamics of Bolton Wanderers.
Straight here, please. Down with the mic. That's it. You got it, mate. You got it. Yep. Good place, Sam, as well. Thank you. Move back, please. Do it.
I'm just straight ahead.
Okay, hold on. Dan, turn the mic off.
What's the difference? Perfect, thank you.
My 45th birthday. It's indelibly inked in that brain of mine for the biggest and best move of my lifetime.
Being at the football club from 15 and staying some 10 years in that period and working my way up into the first team and experiencing my best spell of my football career or professional career here, and then to come back as manager and on my birthday is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I had the time of my life. Best. The best.
I'm just going to re-sync, guys. Okay?
This could be the goal that sends Bolton up. McGinley scores, and that is a major deposit of Bolton's place in the First Division.
There's the cross. De Freitas. Now it's safe. Bolton go into the Premiership.
Bolton Wanderers go back to Division 1 after a solitary season in the Premiership.
Gudni Bergson gets the trophy to mark Bolton's First Division Championship winning year.
This is the home where Bolton will be playing Premiership football next season, a stadium for the future. While at Burnden Park, the door is closing on a long chapter in football's past.
Tears and heartbreak for Bolton because goal difference in Everton's favour sends Bolton down.
Bolton have come so far in this season only to lose it at the final hurdle.
Today's announcement will not have come as too much of a shock. The club's results this season have been largely disappointing. Todd's departure has been described as amicable, and it was he himself who decided his position had become untenable.
When Colin got the sack, I had a 5-game run as a caretaker manager, and I was banging the drum for Phil Brown. You know, I wanted the job. I got invited to the Reebok Stadium, was sitting in the manager's chair as I was caretaker manager. Opens the door, Phil Gartside and Brett Warburton, and closely followed by Sam Allardyce.
My wife Lynn had bumped into Brett Warburton. Colin Todd had left, and she said, you know, you should give Sam the job. He'd do a brilliant job for you. It must have had a bit of effect because I got an interview not long after that. The interview at that particular time had to be a bit quiet because I was at Notts County doing particularly well at the time. It was done a bit under the radar.
We'd worked together before, and the immortal words from Sam were, you know, we've done it before, we can do it again.
And in comes Allardyce! What a happy boy!
He knew the football club, had 2 spells with Bolton Wanderers, still lived in Bolton, and you could see that it was more than a job. Everything was set, really, for us to be successful. But it needed that final push. It needed things changing. We needed to modernise.
I didn't know much of him at the time. Losing Collington, the person who brought you to Bolton, you're going to be disappointed. But Sam didn't disappoint. Since the day that he walked in, he let his voice be heard and he laid straight out what he wanted.
Sam, down with the mic. That's it, you got it, mate.
One of the things that Bolton had and that Sam was very, very good with was he had very, very good players. There was a huge Scandinavian contingent.
He'd put the faith in me nicely by saying, whoever told you go over the halfway line, idiot, do what you're good at. Defend, give it to the people that can play. Best advice I've ever been given.
There, now you're finished. Got the idea. Okay, so you're still going on the diagonal.
He set to work very quickly because we were still very much in the dark ages. You know, we had one physio, one coach, and he could see the bigger picture.
It was a rusty boot behind the scenes. They've got this beautiful stadium, this big hotel, but the training ground was a shambles, really. Players came and went home with nothing to eat.
Clear the box! Clear the box!
I had the experience and the understanding about how to deal with a club that's 54 million, 55 million in the red. I understand the supporters that doesn't matter, the football team still has to win.
I can remember the first day he came in and I pick up a ball and I put it down and play it inside. He's like, I want it down the line.
He made everybody believe.
He bring his own idea to the team and that made a massive difference and made we go on and achieve what many think we couldn't achieve.
There was an amount of resentment, one being the fact that Colin had his own son in the changing room.
I didn't realise that Phil had said something when he was in charge, when he was caretaker manager, apparently that had upset Andy about his dad.
It was very difficult when I'm lying in a hospital bed. He comes and sees me and what do you want me to do about it? Whatever I said, he followed on with. I got his full support.
I didn't see Phil had done it that much wrong. We sold Andy in the end, which was the best for everybody.
He cleaned up the changing room fairly quickly and got it thinking and playing his way. And if you weren't on side, then you moved on. He used to take people head on. He used to meet them toe to toe, face to face, whichever you wanted. And he never shirked. You know, whatever there was an issue, he would broach the subject. And I thought that was a sign of a man that's going to be in the game a long time. Sam improved the athleticism and the strength and conditioning of the team almost instantly. The technical side, I wouldn't have said we were a bad team, technically. When we got the ball to a certain player in a certain area, lights on, cameras, action.
Bolton stand between Tranmere and what would be their first ever major cup final. There's a quick through ball for Kelly. He can get his goal here. And has. That's it. Tranmere Rovers are at Wembley.
Tranmere were magnificent on the night. Quite simply, we couldn't cope.
Proud moment for Sam Allardyce, who leads the team out at Wembley for the first time as a manager. And Dublin has done it! And Aston Villa are in the FA Cup final!
I feel terrible at the moment, but very proud of the players. It's a very cruel way to go out.
A record 6th appearance in the playoffs for Bolton.
Riser! Ipswich are on their way to Wembley!
I don't think you can describe how I feel or the players at this moment in time.
That year was unique in terms of getting from down the bottom up to 3 semi-finals. It was a very disappointing end to what was really a very good start.
It was the worst weekend of my life. I would never, ever say that Sam Allardyce needed babysitting. For a guy who knew how to enjoy himself, my word, he was massively depressed. He was so far down, it was one of them where it was almost frightening me to go into management. It was like, wow, if football does that to you, what do I want to be a manager for?
It's ups and downs, isn't it, and peaks and troughs. So I think that what you have to do is learn to try and live with it, learn to cope.
It's hot off the press. Ida Gudjonsson's move to Chelsea has got Stamford Bridge buzzing.
Kerbesley smashed the club transfer record for 23-year-old Danish international Klaus Jensen.
£700,000 for Bolton's international central defender Mark Fish.
Like every other football club in our division, if they don't achieve that goal of getting into the Premiership and somebody bids for your players and the bid is too big to turn down, then unfortunately that's business in football today.
I thought we had a better team the year before, because you see the players were playing. Mark Fish, Clevston were playing at Charlton in the Premier League. Ida Gudjonsson was scoring the goals at Chelsea. But we were all together, we were all in it together.
Credit to Sam, credit to the club, because they recruited him incredibly well. And they brought in people that others may have looked at and thought, what impact are these going to have?
He showed us a 5-year plan of where they wanted to be when we got promoted.
I call it fulfilling your dreams. The more dreams you have, the better chance you got fulfilling them, the better your life will be.
And I remember walking out and thinking, wow. And I remember like all the old pros going, yeah, good one, like Bolton, whatever, yeah. Because Europe was this is where we're going.
We set out about now qualifying for Europe as soon as we can, get into a cup final.
It was like, are you coming along for the ride or are you going to be the one who jumps off?
To me, he gave me memories that I can never, ever, ever forget.
Ricketts! Surely now he's sewn it up. Ricketts is away! 1-0 Bolton!
The Wanderers will be wandering to Wales for a date with destiny.
Financially, it's so important, isn't it, for the club?
It's our local rivals. It's Lancashire Derby played in Cardiff, and the size of the game from what it means in terms of your football history as well as your financial gain.
We go to Cardiff where nobody expecting us to win, really.
Moisey's an old mate. I got Moisey to Preston from Scotland, so we knew each other. And I think Cardiff was nerve-wracking considering we'd lost in the semi-final of the playoffs the year before.
The team that had finished third in the league hadn't been promoted for a number of years, so I think that was something that we were all aware of.
Here they come. And it's cleared as far as Farrelly! 1-0 to Bolton!
The quality of these goals, brilliant, weren't they?
Now Farrelly, and Ricketts is onside. Kidd chasing back, but will it be in vain? This to get to the Premiership, and they have done it! Here's Ricardo Gardner looking to crown the day, and he has done! It's 3-0!
I mean, if you're going to get up in the playoffs are special.
It was always difficult because his teams were always hard to play against. Bolton were better than us on the day, they really were.
Bolton are the First Division playoff winners of 2001.
Can't quite put it into words, to be honest with you. I feel so delighted. I feel like the world's come off my shoulders.
And after all the disappointments of last season, this surely makes up for it all.
Well, 3 semi-final defeats took some getting over, but it's really made up for it tonight.
Brilliant moments, brilliant memories.
I remember clearly when I received the ball, it was just one thing going through my head. I'm just going to try and get down the field as quickly as possible. And when I look and saw myself in the 18-yard box, I said, might as well.
I think Bolton fans always harboured feelings that I was the person that scored the goal at Everton that got Bolton relegated, but we went from being unfancied to being back in the Premier League.
Thoroughly deserved. It brought the club that little lift. The whole of Bolton, the whole place, that carried over.
I wondered what would have happened to us if we didn't make it, because that would have been another cutting of the finance, another, reducing the wages, reducing the salary. So We did it, and now it was, how we're going to stay there.
We have to diminish the fear factor from the players. For me, there is no fear about going into the Premiership, only enjoyment.
The queues at the Reebok have already started, and no wonder they're in a hurry to get their season tickets.
Do you think you can survive in the Premiership?
I hope so.
Everybody expected Bolton to just go straight back down in the way that they had twice before. They didn't belong in that business league, the trading league.
You're thinking, wow, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United, let's be honest. We lived in the real world, and everybody that he brought in lived in that real world.
Rodney Marsh spoke about it.
Bolton, this season, here we go. Will go on an 8-game streak without a win.
Oh, bless him, Rodney. He's our biggest fan, isn't he? Cheers, Rod.
Bolton will be the worst team in the Premier League history. Bolton will be relegated by Christmas.
I spoke to quite a few managers, the ones that I knew better than most, and asked about, you know, how did you stay in the Premier League? What did you do?
There's an interesting psychology and mentality for a lot of the clubs that get promoted, because you know there's a position in the players' heads where they're thinking, can I compete at the Premier League level?
6 hours a day, day in, day out, wheeler dealing, scouring the world to find the players that'll keep Bolton in the Premiership.
Well, you can see from here, so I mean, lists of players' agents, England, Spain, Scotland, Italy, Portugal, all over the place. I mean, is that what it's come down to?
Well, look, we have to use the agent base now. I mean, because it's, you know, very much in the forefront of football now, and of course, our European scouting network is only done from within the club and the staff within the club. We don't have any scouts based in Europe in a particular country. We can use the internet as well now. That's a very useful piece of equipment that we've got.
We've got to bring players in. No point me sitting here and saying we've got 10 million, 20 million to spend, because everybody will know that then.
Initially, we've got a lot of the, what can I get free transfer-wise? So there's a lot of European players.
He was cutthroat, the gaffer, and he sort of said, move you on, thank you very much, you've been brilliant, and bring the next one in. And for all the people he sort of re-energised, revitalised, there was a lot of people who he knows got him there, but weren't then ready to take him to that next level.
I was clearing out in-house, redeveloping the things I'd learned over the years on what was most important, and that was backroom staff.
You've got to look at the staff he's got around him. There's only Phil Brown here. He hasn't appointed. Everything's changed about the club.
We went about building more backroom staff. A lot of resistance from the board. Why do you need it?
He'd been in America, he'd seen what they did in America.
The Americans were into coaching, the Americans were into making sure that each player had a coach. Whether that coach was a psychologist or a physician or a football coach, or it was strength and condition, or whatever it was, whatever the player needed. That was the psychology behind Sam's way of thinking.
The way he looked at it was that he could employ dozens of backroom staff for what he might pay one player's wages for a year. And they were the ones who were keeping those players on the pitch, or getting the extra 5% out of those players. And he did revolutionise it.
Started with science, so we recorded everything from sleep, hydration, psychological profiling, fitness testing. We'd get meals for players that never had meals after and before training, protein drinks, nutrition, what he would classify as his basics. That's what he started with. And those basics stayed with him from Blackpool all the way up to when he was probably manager of England.
I remember going to the Reebok Stadium, and the first one was like a psychometrics test that I had to do. And he said to me at the end of the interview, he hadn't even given me the job at this point. He said, "What are you doing tonight?" I said, "Well, I'm going to go home, aren't I?" He goes, "No, you're not. No way." He says, "I've got a dinner at Preston North End." It was sort of like a bit of a test, so I thought, I better go. Ended up going to the dinner. I thought, what's going to happen? He goes, "Going to stay at my house tonight." So it was a bit surreal. I ended up going back to his house and then having breakfast in the morning with his wife, Lynn, and Sam around the breakfast table. And even at this point, he still hadn't offered me the job.
He was miles ahead of everything. I think there was only Arsenal at that time that could touch us as a club the way he did things, the amount of staff he employed.
We used to turn up at away stadiums and people would be turning their nose up at us about the amount of staff that we had. But I think it was always drilled into us by Sam that we have to do things differently. There was always a belief that I think within the staff we could do something really small during the week that would lead to maybe us having a better chance of winning at the weekend.
I always remember that Monday morning meeting where I couldn't get Sam to stop chuckling and laughing before it even started, and I'm chairing the meeting. I'm looking at the guy and I'm waiting for him to settle down so I could start the meeting, but he wasn't settling down. I said, what the hell are you laughing at? He had this stupid grin on his face. Just count how many people's in the room, and it was 36 people in the room. We started off with 4 and we ended up with 36.
One thing that the staff did unbelievable, all the team bonding and the team building and bringing us together.
A little over 2 months to prepare for life back in the big time. And Bolton mean business. A week-long training camp in Valencia, the first step. But this was no holiday, as Sergeant Major Sam put his troops through their paces.
The fitter they are, the stronger they are. It helps with the mental strength, which is going to be greatly needed in the Premiership.
Yes, Banksy, to you. Here you go, Banksy. Yep. Fly on, ready to go.
We usually go up the road to, you know, play friendlies in your own country, or over to Ireland was a lot when I was coming in. But then all of a sudden, yeah, we're on bikes up hills.
Lance Armstrong, coming through.
A lot of blood, sweat and tears spilled, but trying to stay in the Premiership is no laughing matter.
What will keep you up, the team spirit?
Yeah, the spirit is good amongst the lads, to be fair. It was right the way through last year, but I think there's an awful lot of hard work ahead, and that's probably the most important thing we have to focus on now.
Cut that, edit that.
£2 on this, you know.
So Bolton aiming to cost the bookies a fortune. Already odds on favourites for the drop, and the manager being tipped to lose his job.
We haven't kicked the ball yet, but I'm going to be the first to be sacked, and we're going to finish at the bottom of the division.
Oh, Franson gets in the cross, and Flowers has lost it! And Bolton Wanderers make their mark in the big league through Kevin Nolan. And he does it again. 5-0. The underdogs have bitten back on the opening day. They've made everybody stand up and take notice.
Great day. Great day.
I can still remember the ball coming across header and just looping over Tim Flowers into the far corner, and that was the first goal in the Premier League season that year. And then it just sort of kept going and going.
We were on top of the Premiership after the first game. We want to show and prove to people that this is where we belong.
We sat in the dressing room after the game, we and Sam were going like, it can't be this easy. It cannot be this easy, seriously. Just by applying some fitness. So in the end, we analysed it, and he came up with an equation which was like sort of 60% is down to the philosophy of the football, about 30% was down to set pieces, and the last sort of 10% was down to fitness.
He's gone for the strike. Oh, it's a disaster for Westerveld. And Bolton Wanderers are in dreamland. 3 Premiership games, 3 Premiership victories. Top of the table for Sam Allardyce's team. And who says they can't punch their weight with the big boys?
We set off like house on fire.
What is this all about? What's happening here? We always thought that Sam had a bit of a magic touch about him, but we didn't realise that it was quite this magical.
It's the weird and wonderful world of the Wanderers. As Bolton's amazing Premiership success story continues, off the field, it's just getting wilder and wackier. Every big win means a big forfeit for chairman, management and staff. And that means sheep's testicles.
That's Dean Holsworth, that's Wimbledon stuff.
It's about the team spirit of the club. We nominated individuals when we win by 3 clear goals, or if we lose by 4 clear goals, the players have to do it.
But the chairman and the staff had to pay. And how?
That's quite weird. I'm not going to throw up, but it's not so clever.
Sheep's testicles? Ugh, come on.
We were eating all sorts of rubbish.
Did you eat them? Of course I did. They're quite a delicacy, by the way.
Bolton's players were given a choice on how to best make use of the international break this week, a trip to Spain or a 2-day outward bound course in the Lake District, and the unanimous decision was Lake Windermere.
Go!
We were toilet racing. What's all that about?
Oh, it was hilarious. Basically, you sat in a toilet and you had a brake and you just had to release the brake and the wheels started going.
This is as crazy as it gets, I think. It's only about building team spirit, and so far our team's doing very well, and we're very pleased with what we're doing.
It wasn't just toilet racing. There was a bit of karaoke involved, building rafts and coming across the lake.
I didn't want to lose, so I'm giving it plenty, like I mean.
There was paintballing. You ever been gill scrambling?
Jumping off of what looked like a pond down the bottom, off this cliff into this water.
The water's coming down it's coming down at a rapid pace, and you're putting your big clodhoppers on and you're going up it, you're gill scrambling that way. And then you get to the top and you're going into a plunge pool, and it was dangerous, to say the least.
It just got everybody together.
Played Manchester United on Saturday and we're going to the lakes. Never kicked the ball, by the way. Never touched a football. On this coach coming back home, I said to the big fella, these are shattered. He said, I'll tell you what, Brownie, forget about training tomorrow. He said, tell them to be at the Reebok Stadium, 11 o'clock, pre-match meal, 3 o'clock kickoff. He said, make sure the video people have got the video ready for the week that we just had. The players looked at it, it was just nothing short of brilliant. And then we go to Old Trafford. That's our preparation for Old Trafford. That takes a ballsy manager, and that, for me, is innovation personified.
Headed back by Ricketts. Nolan shot! Nolan equalises for Bolton Wanderers. Now there's a surprise. Ricketts continues to run away, and he scores! Oh, that could be a famous winner for Bolton Wanderers. Reward for endeavour.
Nolan kept scoring against us, and it was always difficult games for us. They beat us 2 years in a row. He found a way of making them better, and that was a lot to do with the technical side of it.
I'll never forget Old Trafford. Come on. You never do that. Nolan. See it in my dreams still. Kevin Nolan, Nobby Nolan.
That was special. He managed to somewhat merge this group by creating a lot of this different atmosphere. Just outside of the training ground, we would go to horse racing together. We would go to car racing together, barbecues and stuff like that, Christmas parties.
4, 3, 2, 1.
They came up with Christmas parties. That was my wife, player liaison officers. We used to have fine money, so that bought all the presents for the kids. The kids would come, all the staff will come, all the players will come. So all this camaraderie and this friendship started building and building and building.
Bolton, their winless run goes on.
All the players wonder where the next victory's coming from. They start doubting themselves and perhaps doubting me as a manager, doubting the system, and sort of looking for excuses, really.
Reality set in, and they struggled. They really struggled.
We knew what was going to come at some stage.
What Sam had, which is unusual in the modern game, is he had time. He had time to make mistakes. He knew he was a part of what was being built. So you didn't have that same level of pressure or intensity where if you lose a few games, people are going, we need him out.
You asked Sam, did he ever believe we were going down? Not a chance.
Went to the board for extra money because the budget nearly ran out and said, I need some players. If we're going to stay up, I need some players.
You've expressed an interest in Yuri Djorkaeff. What's the situation there, sir?
There's not a yes and there's not a no at this moment in time. It's a long way off just at the moment.
An agent said to me, do you fancy Yuri Djorkaeff? And I said, well, he comes to Bolton. He said, if you play him in the first team, you will, because he needs to get in the World Cup squad. And he's not playing in Germany, in Kaiserslautern, at all. So I said, well, let's go over and see him then.
Sam came to Germany and we have a dinner together, and he told me about Bolton that I didn't know where he was. I knew something on the first meeting. He truly believed on his vision.
Signed the deal, got him to the end of the season.
I was in touch with Liverpool. I was in touch with Manchester United. And Bolton gave me something about Gérard Houllier from Liverpool and Ferguson from Manchester couldn't give it to me. It was the time to play and to be ready for the 2002 World Cup. Sam said, even if you're not good, you will play.
Knowing Yuri Djorkaeff, I think he wasn't seeing himself finishing his career with not playing in the Premier League. And when the opportunity came, I think for him wasn't something that didn't think twice.
4 years ago, he was rated one of the best midfielders in the world. But recently, things have turned sour for the French World Cup winner, who's now determined to resurrect his career at the Reebok.
I say, okay, no problem. I want to play for you. It's a good team. It's a team for me.
I mean, World Cup winner.
Yuri Djorkaeff. I'm playing with Yuri Djorkaeff. He's just won the World Cup.
Yuri had a shades, you know, he was immaculately dressed. He was so cool, calm, collective.
He was one of us. The guy was so humble, and he just encouraged us and just lift the dressing room. He bring that quality that we needed.
His aura was just like a beaming, like bright light on the club at that time.
When I arrived in the locker room, nobody was breathing. Maybe, oh yes, this guy maybe can give us some oxygen. I said, we don't want to go in the second division. We want to stay in Premier League. I have to do a miracle.
Up to that point, it had been something of a make, do, and mend. He'd inherited some good players, but Sam had based his early days at Bolton on misfits from other clubs. But he needed better than that, and he knew he needed some quality.
He's the Dane Bolton hope, will bring home the bacon and help keep them in the Premiership.
A very good opportunity for me to play in the best league in Europe.
It's ready, Freddie, go for the biggest transfer coup in the history of Bolton Wanderers.
First reason to come here to help they stay in the league.
It was like a big jigsaw, and they were all part of this jigsaw. And that jigsaw, for some of the pieces, weren't there particularly long, but they played a part.
But it's there! Yuri Djorkaeff has got his first goal for the club.
Nolan to have a dip. Good effort! Good goal, Kevin Nolan! 3 vital points.
Little flick on. 4-0 Bolton Wanderers. There's no stopping Freddie Bobic. First half hat-trick.
That was a big learning curve for us because stats lads and all that come out and they went, if you stay in the first year is the hardest. If you stay in the second year, it gets easier.
They're not satisfied with just survival. The Foreign Legion is set to grow because it's still too expensive to shop in Britain.
As much money as possible is all I ask the board to do, and I'm sure they will. Trying to stretch them to the limits is my job. Really to make sure that we don't all sit in that director's box going into the last 8 games of the season, becoming very, very fearful about falling out the Premiership.
He wanted to do more than just consolidate then. He wanted to press on, and he knew the only way to do that was to sign big players. But of course, the money wasn't there. So he had to use his connections on the continent to find out what was knocking about.
A case of gotcha, Okocha for Bolton.
Bolton Wanderers would like to welcome JJ to the Reebok Stadium and sign them a 2-year contract, and we're obviously delighted that he's here.
It's quite simply the biggest signing in Bolton's history. The African superstar has agreed a 2-year deal, believed to be worth £30,000 a week.
Honestly speaking, before I didn't know much about Bolton, but when I came here I was very impressed with what I saw. I would love to play in the Premiership, and I must thank Bolton for giving me that opportunity.
Sam, what does he bring for you?
Flair, ability, great pedigree, experience. Hopefully next season there'll be 1 or 2 more people paying more attention to Bolton Wanderers because of the likes of it, him and others.
That's it, man. Just hold it there, mate. Just keep looking. Hold it there. Nice, let's go.
I can look back and say for a club like Bolton to have coughed at that amount, then it showed how desperate they were in signing me. It was also my job to make sure that they recoup whatever I was paid.
He could have probably went and played for them top teams in Spain, but I think he wanted to sort of prove himself in the Premier League.
I think with his quality and what he brought to Bolton, he could have gone and played in any team in the world, the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona, Manchester United, Arsenal. He chose Bolton. And I think a lot of that also had to do with with Sam.
Still to this day, massively surprised that it wasn't the Man United or the Arsenals or the Chelsea or the Man Cities or the Liverpools that didn't come in and sign him, particularly on a free transfer.
I didn't do my research, you know. I was looking forward to playing in the Premier League. And I think I got carried away with those things instead of really checking where Bolton is on the map and the history of the club. But of course, I've always embraced new challenges.
Just 2 months ago, the French ace promised, "I'll be back." And after terminating his international career, the World Cup winner has been true to his word, putting his prize signature on a 2-year contract at the Reebok.
I want to be part of this in Bolton.
That summer, I had my biggest feeling about what we were doing was right. When Yuri rang up and said, "Can I come back?" And we went, wow.
What convinced you to stay permanently that summer?
Everything. Everything. And I found a good place for myself. I really love the team. I really love the staff, the coach, and the fans. You know, why I will move it?
The day many Bolton fans thought would never happen. Spanish international defender Ivan Campo getting to know his new teammates at the Reebok.
No es que haya sido una misión, lo que pasa es que yo desde pequeño.
Well, since he was little, he's always had hopes and aspirations of playing in the English league because it's a different type of football than that played in Spain.
Real Madrid, Champions League winner and league winner.
Real Madrid, come on. You know, these are top players.
Any chance of a smile? Me, please. Ivan, he's the happiest man you'll ever meet. Couldn't ask for a better person to bring in. The bloke just smiled.
You say to yourself, well, how the heck did they get Okocha? How did they get Djokovic? Playing a World Cup final. You know what I mean? Real Madrid players. They're winning leagues and European Cups with Real Madrid. Why the hell would they want to go to Bolton for? You know, so Sam's personality did that. You know, I thought it was fantastic. He had other players, obviously, but they got a presence to the team. They brought a bit of class to the team. And also, they knew how to win.
These lads, because they're successful as footballers, people don't understand. Most of them haven't got the ego everybody thinks they've got. Most of them just want to play football and prove they can still do it.
They made them feel on top of the world. All the support that they needed was there.
One important thing for me, and this is about players that had to settle in, if you go home and the family's not happy, it soon becomes a deterioration in the performance. We addressed that situation by appointing 2 player liaison officers. So if they didn't speak English, they got English lessons. If they struggled in the supermarket, because they couldn't read the labels, obviously we'd help them in that area.
Ivan Campo had a husky and he used to bring him to training occasionally, which means we had to organise how was he going to get his dog over and things like that. So again, it's all about making the players happy off the park.
Find a school, find the area they wanted to live in, sort out the bank accounts, sort out the cars, car insurance, where do you pay your bills, how do you pay your bills.
He indulged them to a certain degree. Yuri Djorkaeff had his favoured chiropractor on the continent. Sam knew he didn't need that chiropractor. He could give Yuri all the treatment that he needed here in Bolton. But in his head, if he's comfortable about it, if that's what he wants, let him take himself off.
They were listening me really carefully. We train like Chelsea, Arsenal, same level. What makes the difference is a small detail. The day that Bolton will understand what is these details, it will be a success.
Relegation fodder, that's what the so-called experts are predicting. But that is like music to the ears of the Bolton boss.
But whatever pundit said and whatever any pressman said or whatever any pressman wrote negative about us, the bottom line is that we only spent 2 games in the bottom 3 in 38 last season. We'd done so well in the first season, stayed up quite comfortably with 2 or 3 games to go. My senses were tingling about this squad's not good enough and I have to build a better squad. A lot of players that were coming to the Premier League with not a lot of experience, and that's why we struggled. I consider myself able to find a way of doing whatever you need to do to get the best out of it. First, the player individually, and secondly, the team as a whole.
The dungeon is a very difficult place to work in. It's my office. It's under the Reebok Stadium, and there is not one single window in it.
Up at the training ground, we had what we called a war room.
And in the war room was all of our aims and targets. And you weren't allowed in there. You had to be invited by the manager. You just couldn't go in.
After every session, Kieran locked nobody else allowed in, because we started to have these dreams about where we want to go and what do we want to be.
So everybody knew what everybody else was thinking and make sure we're all pulling the same way.
Could it get quite heated?
Yeah, very heated at times, it could. Sometimes you came out of there, you might not have been too happy because words might have been spoken, questions might have been asked about different departments' preparation or what they could have done better. But I think you came out of there absolutely clear where everybody was at mentally.
We were all little cogs in the wheel.
I think the psychology part, we really played with it.
We had the idea of splitting up the season.
He'd present to us, and this is what we're expecting, this is where we should be. So it was little mini leagues.
I think it was 10 games, 10 games, 10 games, 10 games, 8 games. So it's 4 blocks.
After the first mini league, if we were in the top 4, scrapped. No, we're moving on to the second one, and it was really, really interesting. And it's like, OK, now we've got to hit that target again. What's the target? So we used to sit in a room.
You'd do your points total, how many goals you'd score, how many goals you concede, how many wins you get, how many draws you get, and how many losses you get.
The analysis lads had done a deep in-search into the tables, where's the average you need to do to finish in what part of the league.
And we're all in teams, defenders and goalkeepers, midfielders and attackers, wingers, strikers in the different groups, and we do that every 10 games just to see where we are on the scale.
And then he'd bring it all, and this is the presentation. This is what you believe, lads. This is what yous are telling us. We're not telling you. This is what yous as a group have come up with, and these are the points. So it's about yous now sort of going out and showing us.
You have to take your mind away from football at some stages to give yourself a little brain space and a little breather.
180!
It was about relaxation.
Big Sam, the Arrows man. There have been several suggestions for Sam's darting nickname, most of them unrepeatable.
And of course, if I'm actually up there playing darts, I can't be thinking about football.
I even got the opportunity to play against Phil the Power Taylor, by the way. Obviously, I got nowhere near winning.
I think I'll win.
Oh, and it's squeezed in! JJ Okocha for Bolton Wanderers.
If Bolton are to stay up this season, JJ Okocha has a big part to play.
Oh yes, without any doubt.
Okocha scores! How precious, how priceless could that goal be? And a little dance at the end, a jig of celebration.
Okocha is away, Pedersen to his right, Djorkaeff ahead of him, and goes himself and finds the roof of the net! JJ Okocha scores for Bolton!
He found it difficult when he arrived. He found it difficult to adjust to the pace of the Premier League. But once he got the family over and got the family settled, off he went.
Amazing talent, could do anything with the football, with the little five-a-side games, and he'd just go past you. You'd be like, where's he gone? Where's he gone?
Okocha was absolutely fantastic. I always remember we needed Bolton to get a result against Arsenal in the second last game, and we were travelling by bus down to Tottenham, and Okocha does that trick on the corner flag. Well,
I had a chat with Thierry Henry and Hierro. I'm sorry I have to reveal this. And they were like, oh, if you could do something against Ray Paula, that would be great, so that we'll have something to laugh about the whole week. I didn't forget that when I got that ball, I looked up, it was Ray Paula in front of me. I said, well, great opportunity to do something.
I think really JJ, he found his club too, you know, because I remember when he moved in Paris, JJ was not like that. In Bolton, he was everywhere.
I think that generation of Bolton had creativity with Djorkaeff and Okocha, had really quality, individual quality, players who can make the difference.
When you sign for a club, they paid you quite well. I think they deserve to get something in return, and For me, I had in mind to change people's perspective about Bolton.
I think he was the Beckham of Africa, wasn't he?
It all comes down to one nail-biting Sunday afternoon in May. And for Bolton, there's £20 million riding on the outcome.
Every year since I've been here, we've either been fighting for promotion or fighting off relegation. So nothing changes at this place.
But almost ready to go on a very emotional afternoon at the Reebok Stadium. The atmosphere is something very special. Sam Allardyce calls this the most important day in Bolton's recent history and his biggest ever game as a manager. Currently won back by Frenson! What a goal! What a start for Bolton Wanderers! Less than 10 minutes gone. It's Okocha who goes for goal! Magic! Absolutely magic! A priceless strike by JJ.
I mean, that man's a genius.
There's the final whistle. Bolton Wanderers are safe and will remain a Barclaycard Premiership team next season.
I'll tell you what, I could move a bit then, couldn't I?
We had a deal. If we stay up, we were going to do the dance.
I don't think his knee's ever recovered, has it?
I didn't know that he was practicing because he can't tell me that he just did it.
I think we sort of said we'll do a bit of something if we win and we stay up, or it was just off the cuff, I don't know.
We used to get up and do little role plays, you know. Sam was Michael Jackson one year. He did this, he was moonwalking, he was doing footwork.
I got the red jacket, the glove, the slippy shoes, a couple of shots of Zambuca to get on my nerves.
By the way, he's got the best feet. I've never seen anybody as big as him have such good feet. He was quick, you know, the feet were unbelievable. And I'm looking at him going, wow, where does he get these from?
Yes, I can move a bit. Not so much now, but I could then.
We're all happy that we survived.
You look at that year and how we survived on that last day and stuff with the team and the players. It would have been a travesty for that team then to go down.
Sat the chairman down said to him, I never want to go through that ever again. You need to help me. If I don't get your help, then I'm not going to succeed, and it's very important that you tell the rest of your board that you must find me a bigger budget that we can bring in better players.
We're going to talk about them.
The holidays are over for Big Sam. Now the hard work really starts. 7 weeks to bring in at least half a dozen new faces. But already it's proving tough.
We're waiting for the cost to come down. When that happens, then we hopefully will start moving sooner rather than later. We started to build a scouting network all over Europe and beyond if we felt the player was. I mean, I went to Mexico. You make or break your recruitment.
Back home, he's a superstar, mobbed wherever he goes, one of the most famous footballers in Greece. Now home is Bolton, and he's aiming to take the Premiership by storm.
Yes, I would be very satisfied if I could manage this.
First and foremost, I didn't know much around the club. I found out that it was a very good and promising project. Obviously, I had the opportunity to talk and have a very positive conversation with Big Sam, so he analysed me.
Finding Stelios was me taking a chance on half a game. I got the stats up, which was difficult at the time from Greece, but I managed to get some from when he played international level. But just watching him till half-time was enough. The new players came, but never got taken to the training ground till after they'd signed, which was a good move.
When we were driving to the training ground, we were shocked a little bit with the facilities because they were not the facilities that we were expecting.
We obviously had a training ground which wouldn't have excited them players, shall we say, getting dressed in a porta cabin, showered in a porta cabin, so he kept them well away.
When I first got there, there was like The back of a trailer would be the boot room, and then the next one was the kit room, and next door was the social club for who we rented it off.
We were like walking past, like, you know, the old fellas there at the bar having a drink and having a fag.
So they were still coming in, having a game of snooker and a couple of pints by dinner time. We were this side, so we bought all that out.
What were your first impressions?
Yori was the first one.
One cabin, grass, windy, raining.
And you always wait for the reaction, and he's like...
I didn't come to Bolton to expecting red carpet. It will be unfair to arrive in Bolton and say, oh yes, there's no physio, machine, weight. No, I didn't care. I know exactly why I was here. I was here to lead the team.
We had this lovely new stadium, the Reebok, just off the motorway.
The Reebok Stadium is iconic. With the struts coming up with the lights on, the rounding of the roofs, the seating, the areas, the hotel. And without that stadium, perhaps few players wouldn't come.
Once they put pen to paper, then they realised what was really coming.
What about the ones that maybe didn't work out for you?
Well, I don't talk about them. In the early stages, there was a few. Mario Jardel didn't quite work, particularly with his reputation, how big a player he was. Because it didn't work, they've forgotten for me. It's who's the next one.
With little or no money to spend, Big Sam will once again be doing his summer shopping in football's bargain basement. And he may well have already unearthed a gem with Southampton's out-of-contract striker Kevin Davis, currently on trial at the Reebok.
Just remember being around the boys straight away. It felt kind of like a place you want to be. From very early on, I thought, you know what, I want to be part of this. So that kind of drove me on through that trial for 4, 5, 6 weeks. I'd not played for a while, so I was carrying a few pounds.
I didn't know whether he wanted to mention that. I was trying to save him.
He came to the airport when we were flying out pre-season. He go, dearie me, he said, what are we going to do with that?
It was known as the Fat Club. They put me basically on the Atkins diet. It was one of those up at 6 o'clock in the morning, 2 hours up in the mountains on the bike. I remember coming back and it was breakfast. The boys were tucking into whatever they wanted to eat, the fry-ups and things. I was restricted to no carbohydrates, so it's pretty tough.
We'd stripped him down to his body fat was like 6-7% from like 20-25. He looked like a machine.
We'll give you the tools to be the best you possibly can be, but only you can apply yourself with these tools to make it on the pitch and get back to what you know you really can do.
Changed everything, got, you know, proper canteen, brought chefs in, made sure that all the food, so you were there for breakfast, you were there for lunch.
At one stage I was on, believe it or not, I was on my breakfast, 2 steaks for breakfast, bit of broccoli.
My missus was cooking me steaks in the morning before we even went out to train.
Having sort of steak and veg for breakfast, which was like weird.
Then I was on fish for lunch, and then I was on steaks again in the evening. But that was specific to me because I needed to put on muscle. But then he had players doing the complete opposite.
The kind of food we were having for lunch before the game, today it will not be possible. You go to jail. Every time, how can we be better?
We were getting up and eating this breakfasty, purpley gunk, soupy stuff, and it...
I think we were sort of like lab rats to him, but he's going, let's try that, see if that works. Do we like them protein shakes? Do we like, you know, we were having protein shakes when no one knew what protein shakes was.
Beetroot shots, you know, we were doing in 2003.
First time you're tasting this protein thing, you're going, oh my God, like that is disgusting. So they've then gone out and searched like protein drinks, like with chocolate flavour, strawberry flavoured ones, vanilla flavoured.
Bolton's pre-season training regime is going to the extremes. Some may say bizarre, and that includes making use of a giant refrigerator.
You just got to walk around and freeze yourself for about a couple of minutes, I think, and then it helps you recover. So it'll be interesting, you know, come back like icebergs, can't move, but it's nothing compared with Bolton at the moment.
You got these socks on, you put these little knickers on, put this little mask on and some gloves on, and in you went. Jesus!
Did you try it yourself, Sam?
Yeah, it was murder.
So we were the first club to bring in cryotherapy, whole body cryotherapy.
Well, the fridge basically cools the body temperature and increases the hormone capacity of the body. So you get some hormones released that help recovery, and it takes the inflammation out of the tendons and the muscles once you've worked them.
First one in Europe into football club, we had it at Bolton Wanderers.
I had to persuade the board down, because that was 150 grand.
And we used to have to import the gas from the Czech Republic once a month for £6,000. The chairman wasn't very happy. And we had our own cylinder at the training ground, and that we'd pump that in, and the players would be in and out of it every day.
How did they react to that?
Well, to start with, they weren't up for it, were they?
I never liked doing ice bath.
We hated it.
It was freezing. Coming from warm weather, that was very difficult for me. Poor boy, he was from Jamaica. We put him in cold water. Come on, guys.
We hated it, but it was very, very effective.
And maybe one or two slipped away without me knowing anyway.
It was never until some implemented fines. And I'm like, I can't be losing money like this.
As players, obviously, everything's new, so you want to give it a go, don't you? And two, if you don't give it a go, you know you're not going to be playing on a Saturday.
And we decided to change all the weight programmes, so we started to do complex Olympic lifting, which had been in rugby and professional sport a long time, but not in football. It's like, you can't do that in football.
At one point, I think in pre-season, I was squatting like 1.5 my body weight, and as a 19, 20-year-old lad, I felt absolutely fit as anything.
It was like so many squats, and then you had to jump onto the top of the thing.
Traditionally old school players, not really into the science, that just got away with playing football without doing much, you know. So he turns up in Poland to the Olympic training camp south of Warsaw, and you've got all these nutty professors, Eastern Bloc, like crazy, like scientists walking around in white coats, taking blood and writing things down.
So all this planning started going into changing the culture.
He was ahead of his time. It was absolutely no doubt about it. He was ahead of his time.
Round this way a little bit, sir. Round this way a little bit.
Kevin Nolan, 2-0! Oh, and it's squeezed in!
And Bolton Wanderers lead at Anfield.
Yes! This is incredible! Okocha! That is absolutely glorious!
JJ's goal in the semi-final bent round the outside of the wall. We would never have got to the final without him.
A story of planes, trains and automobiles for thousands of Bolton fans who left in hope of another great day for their football club 46 years after their last trophy.
It's a big day for us, definitely. We're definitely going to win.
It's a special stadium, it's a special day, but it's only really a special day if you win it.
This is the moment when the butterflies will flutter. This is when the reality of the occasion hits both teams.
My grandson, little Sam, and he's not very happy that I look so. He's finding the atmosphere a bit intimidating, holding on to his granddad.
Mendieta has switched it to Zenden. Right across for Job, and it is a fantastic start for Middlesbrough. Mendieta steers it through for Job, he's got one goal already. It's a penalty. Emerson Tom has conceded a penalty. Zenden. Oh, he's unlucky, Askelainen.
This is a double kick.
He got a foot to it, but he couldn't keep it out. And this is an unbelievable start for Middlesbrough. 2 up in 7 minutes.
It's not excuses. In a game and in a final, you can't have anything going against you, not in control of, all right?
It's that two-footed penalty that absolutely broke our hearts.
It was very devastating.
Still feel cheated. When the analyst come running down from the stadium, and he came via 3 lifts and 3 floors, and he comes running on the pitch with a laptop. Two-footed penalty, Sam. The game's already gone on by another 5 minutes, you know.
After 128 years of hurt, Middlesbrough claim silverware.
We never recovered from the start. Never got a final medal, only got a loser's medal there, so it was a big day, and we were all disappointed at the end of it.
Oh, that is a wonder goal!
Here's Nolan. There's another nail in Leeds United's coffin.
Decent ball in, oh, and it's squeezed in! And that could be a vital goal for Bolton Wanderers' charge.
I remember one day we won, and he came in the dressing room and he said, if you win again this weekend, 4 days off.
We were like, come on, lads, and it kind of gave us a lift. And we came to the Saturday again and said, Gaffer, same again? I remember Kevin Nolan asking, he went, yeah.
And then he would go and go and go and go until the end of the season, and then quickly we are up the table.
It was unbelievable. We went on an amazing sort of finish to the season. And rather than the fitness going down, everyone's went up, and it was just kind of little things like that he stumbled across. He had the great ability to know when to give us a carrot and when to sort of give us a stick a little bit. He was a master at that, really.
My favourite innovation was the psychological side for me. I consider myself a man manager, so I consider myself able to find a way.
In his seasons in the top flight, he's already proved the master at wheeler dealing, and he loves to play the game of transfer market poker, whatever the stakes.
So with that mix of British English, stroke foreign, the mix was still pretty good. We were very good at finding these players that come and fit.
When Gary Speed's name was mentioned to Sam Allardyce, he jumped at the chance of signing the Welsh international.
You look at what he achieved for Newcastle United only last year. I mean, 61 games tells a story about Gary Speed.
As soon as we did all of his testing and we looked at all of his stats, I said he's in the top 5 midfield players in the country for fitness, distribution, percentage success, all these sorts of things. And sure enough, he played for another 3-4 years for us, and he was still in the top 5. It was weird.
We did have some old players. We had a mixture of finding players, younger players under 30 that came to play. It was a nice mixture of both. We got one of the best ever, Fernando Hierro.
Former Real Madrid star Hierro has spent the last season in the footballing backwater of Qatar, but in terms of fitness for the Premiership, Big Sam doesn't see it as a problem.
At least he's been playing. Most of our lads that come to us have been cast aside by the clubs that they've come from and haven't played for many, many months.
Fernando Hierro walks in and he's got a gold ring on. That is part of the brotherhood of Real Madrid. You know that there's something there that you have to really understand and try and get to that level and try and tap into that.
You've got the captain of Real Madrid, captain of Spain, talking to you, you're thinking, I'm the captain here, and he's telling me, but Sam made all that happen.
Still sometimes pinch myself, and how did we get all these top players?
A World Cup winner with France and 40 caps to boot, Bolton Wanderers got the numbers right to snap up Vincent Candela.
The number of times when names came up, it's like, we'll do well to get this guy.
It got to the point where it was just the next one coming in.
We were thinking from one month to the next, who's the next one?
It was like a sort of conveyor belt. It was non-stop.
You'd lay bets down and said, yeah, I think he'll come back, this lad. I think we might have done all right.
We're having little side bets here and there on, you know, who's he going to bring in next, and we're always wrong. He just picked the best.
These transfers shouldn't have been on Bolton's radar, but they were.
They're all coming and they all want to be part of it, and they all bought into it. And if they didn't, the gaffer was just gone, yeah, OK, you're not part of it, bang, OK, and we'll move you on.
He didn't just sign great players, I think he wanted to sign good personalities, hard-working people. They brought that winning mentality to the dressing room as well, the qualities. I mean, we were there and they were stretching before training, having all this really nice food before training. We were like, what's going on there, kind of thing, and it kind of rubs off on you.
I think if you look at all the players that we probably signed at Bolton, they had a very strong profiles, physically and mentally, but yet had fallen away somewhere along the line, either dropping form, an injury, a fallout with the manager, a fallout with the club.
El Hadj Diouf is relishing the chance to rekindle his career on loan with Bolton. Liverpool haven't seen the best of him, but a lack of harmony with former Anfield boss Gerard Houllier didn't inspire the Senegal's star to reach maximum form.
I remember when I was in Liverpool and my relationship between me and the coach was not the best. I'm a type of player, I have to be happy to be somewhere. If I'm not happy, I don't have nothing to do over there. I want to leave because I don't want to play with the players. I don't think so they like me as well.
We try and get him Dioufy from Liverpool. I mean, nobody touched him. He was just brilliant for Bolton. Fans loved him, contributed to the team so well.
I don't have nothing to prove anymore. You know, everyone knows El Hadj Diouf is a wonderful player. I don't have nothing to show to anyone else. But to go to Bolton, just people have to understand what kind of player and what kind of person I am. I'm a person, if I'm not happy somewhere, I don't have nothing to do there. I chose Bolton because My dream, one of my biggest dreams as a footballer is to play with JJ Okocha.
He's a cheeky devil, like you mean.
He tried to drop kick Fernando Hierro, and it was my session, and I had to stop the session and chase everybody off. You know, nobody could get the ball off Fernando. And Allardyce was getting a little bit irate with regards to this, a little bit angry about somebody not being able to get the ball off. So he decided to come out with a kung fu challenge.
We was playing like 6v6, and Fernando just like give me like a ball. And I was so mad I want to kill him on the training ground. And, you know, and my lips was bleeding.
You missed out on some names as well. Talk us through some of those.
Talks with Rivaldo are ongoing as Bolton Wanderers look to secure the services of the former World Player of the Year.
If he does come, that's a tremendous boost for young players like me.
Hopefully, he'll be here next season.
If I was betting man, I would say that he will be signing for Bolton Wanderers.
The fact that Rivaldo has even flown in for talks really takes Bolton's ambition and their status in the game to unprecedented heights, really. I got a call, Bolton were looking to sign Rivaldo. I wanted it smack off. It was too big a story to sit on. And I went over to Sam, I pulled him to one side and I said, I need to speak to you about something. Right, OK. You're chasing Rivaldo. I could read his reactions and his lip was going a little bit, so I knew I'd hit on something.
I met him in the Lowry, actually. He actually came over here. I wouldn't say he got away, but I didn't think we'd cut the mustard in the Premier League.
We had a lot of players in the building that didn't sign.
You've been linked with the move for Rocky Jr. Is there anything in that?
If you'd like to come, we'd love to have him.
Haken Sukhed, would he be on your list?
Yes, he's on my list.
Sylvan Distan, Yossi Benayoun.
An early target could be Patrick Kluivert.
Possibly.
The Roy Keane story continues to rumble on.
Financially, we're not in the same league or anywhere near the sort of money that Roy's been earning.
Roy spent about 3 hours at my house, but Roy had set his heart on Celtic.
At one point, I think he even had Pep.
Pep was over in Barcelona. I had a brilliant chat with him, but he decided he didn't want to come.
He came to my house, yeah. I remember my old house in Barcelona. I was desperate to come to England. To be honest, I don't know if it's sweet the football from Sam, where I was as a football player. So came at home, we talk about that. I want to play in football, I will adapt, I want to live that experience. I was 30, 31 years old. I was the end of my career, I would say. And after stand up, and he looked my body on top of down. Look at this. And I was a skinny person, you know, with no strength, no power. And I think he decided, that guy cannot play in English football. The majority of them didn't sign because it wasn't because we didn't do our job, Sam didn't do his job or anything like that. It's because they had other reasons. I remember Yossi saying, I only didn't sign for Bolton because I wanted to be in London. Patrick Kluivert ended signing up at Newcastle. In the majority of cases, Sam was successful.
We're not going to be favourites to get a Champions League place or a European place. It suits us to have to strive to get there. After last season's great position that we finished in at 8th, you know, if we can improve on that or just equal that, that would be fantastic.
Okocha, the birthday boy with an open day sizzler at the Reebok Stadium. And it's Kevin Davis, and it's 1-0 to Bolton Wanderers. Good ball, Giannakopoulos. Giannakopoulos. Oh, it's a smashing goal. Stooping header, brilliantly saved, and put in by Stelios, and Bolton are 3-2 up. Sam's the man. Bolton Wanderers looking forward to a campaign in the UEFA Cup.
He's had such longevity in the game. Would you describe him as an elite manager?
Without question, the job he did at Bolton was remarkable.
What is it with this Lancashire town that attracts the visitors? They've come from near and far. In all, 17 different nationalities make up the Bolton first team squad.
What would be good for the foreign players to see?
I don't really know.
Is it good for the tourists to come here?
I doubt it very much.
Well, it sure isn't the weather. I think it's two letters, really. It's BS, and that's not British specification. It's Big Sam.
We are a dressing room of so many nationalities, but you never knew.
What would the Christmas tree formation be in Greek? Χριστουγεννιάτικο δέντρο.
It was a multicultural dressing room, but as we say in football, language is one.
It is amazing when you see people that have got different mentality, different culture, but what makes them strong is because they have the same goal, you know, one target, one objective. And once everybody buys into it, life becomes beautiful. I started playing snooker, but I wasn't good at it. I remember Kevin Davids giving me 40 points ahead and still beat me.
I used to kind of say, look, teach me some of these skills and I'll teach you how to play snooker in the little room we had.
The team spirit Sam used to have with us. We just came to training. When we finish training, we have to call our family to tell them to come because we're having barbecue at the training ground. Things like that was amazing because sometimes if I'm not going well with some players, maybe our kids can be like friends and that can change life as well. And I think so. Sam was unbelievable for that.
Those were happy days.
And I still speak to a lot of players that played in this team. I still speak to them now and meet up with them now, which is, I think it's quite rare now.
We meet lifetime friends.
This group, this culture that Sam created was special.
I think the bond was something that was very unbreakable.
Sam Allardyce has started his summer search to strengthen his squad.
I have been wanting playing in Premiership for a couple of years.
When he signed Okocha Nakata, he brought in a special masseuse who Nakata had had with him for years and years and years. He was the first guy in our old group that brought in the putting pins, little pins in your, and cupping and things like that. He was sticking these pins in, you know, areas that, one, I didn't know I had, and two, I didn't know that it could hurt so much if they stuck the pin in.
This spot tender here. Yeah. We found a guy from Taiwan who was the best in traditional Chinese medicine and how we could bring all that sort of frequency and energy into the team. So now all the therapists were doing the massage instead of just rubbing legs like we were telling them, don't just pretend it's a leg, you know, a table leg it could be. When they were doing Tai Chi and changing energies, we'd be warming the players up on the side of the pitch on vibration platforms and bikes, you know, and stuff like that. And doing recovery stockings and nutritional supplements and blood tests. And we had a program called Omega Wave, and that would track heart rate variability. So we know exactly how a player would recover.
All the sort of stuff that football can tend to really shy away from, we would be introducing bit by bit.
It was probably only really Arsene Wenger from a scientific point of view and probably Alex Ferguson from a psychological point of view that were really buying into it big style.
Sam was doing everything what Arsene was doing, but Arsene was getting all the credentials, the pat on the back, if you like, and Sam was sort of seen as like, you know, this old school type.
We were networking, so we were doing all the top teams. We've been into Bayern Munich. We've been into all the top American football teams. We've been across to the All Blacks. We'd sent someone to tour around Australia and pick up all the Australian rules, Australian cricket. We struck up a relationship with England Rugby before 2003 when they won the World Cup. We spent time around McLaren and F1. We got a pilot in from the Red Arrows. It's all about communication.
And I will never forget a motivational speech that the personal psychologist of Michael Jordan, he said eventually everything is in here. So when the order from the brain is given that you are tired, you can be exhausted. But Michael Jordan, he answered, I don't have time to be tired. That sentence alone makes all the difference in an athlete.
So he empowered everyone in their areas of expertise. So obviously my area was dealing with the media and media management, and I was still learning on the job, but he gave me the opportunity. He sent me to America for 2 weeks. I went to see the Dallas Mavericks NBA franchise with our performance director to understand how the media works, and he wanted me to bring back some ideas to open it up a bit more.
We took him up into the Lake District, into a monastery. I knew how to meditate, and we did a meditation session. and worked out what the best type of meditation was, and then we'd teach the players.
There was one lad stood out for us that had come straight from university called Mike Ford. He was sort of given to us more than anybody else.
He was more somebody who wanted to understand the sociology of things in terms of what would make a player tick. He got really, really close to all the players and all the staff, and for him, he was very much Sam's probably trusted confidant and advisor, but also the innovator of, have we thought about doing this?
I always remember when I got the captaincy, going to meet Graham Smith.
100 for the South African captain in his 100th Test match. What a man he is, what a captain, what a leader of men.
It was unbelievable speaking to someone who's a youngster, leading all these top internationals. You had Jack Callis at the time, you know, he was one of the best all-rounders, and he's having to deal with him, who probably does think he should be captain, you know, and I had the same with me, because I took the captaincy off JJ.
What else did you do, Sam?
Prozone was obviously the big turning point for me.
Basically what it does is the big brother of football. It tells us everything a player does on the field of play, and it's a tool that gives you so much information that you can pull anything out of it that you want.
We used to evolve around that area, so it wasn't just coming in, training, and the players going home. It was coming in, looking at the analysis, and just going through what we'd learned and what we were doing, good or bad.
The first thing we've exposed is that we can see Charlton are not really defending correctly, because what you would do is you would have that man that would go immediately to mark him.
The standards of information you gave to him had to be sky high. There was no room for error. He'll question you on things that you've maybe flagged up. At that time, you know, we're talking floppy disk drive going into CDs, into DVDs, of how long it took for us to put together the information. But he always understood how much time it took to put things together, and would never ask us for something that he didn't see valuable.
This is the type of information we'll get from a typical game. We get an overview of each player's performance. This is Gary Speed's passing, you can see 91%. And one of the great things, again, rather than sit through a video and fast forward and rewind for 90 minutes, we can highlight a pass. We just click on that, it'll go direct to the pass that Gary's made. So the player comes in wanting to look at what he's done, it's there, it's instant.
If you wanted to become better player, you just knocked the door and went into the analysis room, and you had all the information of the world in front of your eyes.
He knew what specific position you played, how much running you need to be doing, kilometres, how many high-speed runs you need to be doing, how many high-G sprints you need to be doing, how many percentage of tackles you needed to be winning.
There's no hiding in training. On the pitches, you had to be accountable for all your fitness things.
We tried to create culture in the video room and with the analysis whereby, of course, if a player came in after a defeat or a mistake, they knew it probably wasn't going to be a very positive session. They also knew that when we were on a good run, when we were doing the things well, it would be rewarded. The player knew they did something 10 passes back or before we won the ball back, it would be flagged up that you did that moment, and that was what ultimately led to us winning back possession and scoring a goal.
Yes, it was a lot to take on. It was mind-boggling at times, but when you could ask for a printout of everything, you could see everything after every game, and it was just a real eye-opener for us.
Can you imagine a club like Bolton was in the pioneer on data, technology, using a video. When we did the Reebok Stadium tour, it said, yeah, this is 8 camera, you know, when you run, blah, 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 and then.
We were the first place to do live analysis. So we were coding our own game with our cameras. Nobody else was doing it. There'd be people on cameras, on walkie-talkies, telling us what their formation was and who wasn't covering and highlighting, and we'd get that onto the pitch.
That was obviously a high-pressure environment. Maybe it didn't show what he wanted, but you'd have to have those honest conversations. He maybe wasn't happy, but you'd have to say, you know, Gaffer, it doesn't show what you wanted to see.
The work he did in terms of assessing through video analysis, he did that really well. The thing that really always amazed me about Sam was when we played him, he had to go through this office to get to his own office where we used to entertain all the managers playing against him. And there's these guys sitting with the 6 screens doing everything about the game.
We're in the midst now of a data revolution in football. And I think you could probably track it back to people like Sam.
Bolton's players have been preparing for a new experience, that of European football, and a first ever UEFA Cup game against Lokomotiv Plovdiv this evening. The UEFA flag flying at Bolton for the first time ever as Wanderers seek success at home and abroad.
I'm slightly apprehensive, of course, because we are treading into the unknown.
When he come, he had a 5-year plan, and the 5-year plan was to get us into Europe. To be quite honest, he's done that, and a lot of people laugh.
These moments are like sort of special.
Europe was the ultimate. That was unbelievable. It was pinch yourself time when that happened.
The small town, wonderful supporters, paying their hard-earned money to be coming to games week in, week out. The least we can do is bring European clubs to our little small towns.
You know what I like of life is about like making history real, and that's what we do with Bolton.
We were in this hotel right on the seafront, a bit of a resort. Before the game in the afternoon, we went for a walk, like, did a turn around and come back. There were that many Wanderers fans. I think lager was only 50p a pint as well, so they'd had a few, you know what I mean? So all the fans were coming rushing out, like, clapping. It made it, I think it helped. Hundreds and hundreds, thousands of them down this resort, like, you know, singing "We Are the Wanderers," you know. And that was a good victory and put us on our way.
The time has come for one of the biggest games Bolton has ever seen. The town has taken on something of a French feel, and everywhere there's a certain je ne sais quoi.
Bonjour Marseille. Bonjour Marseille. Allez Bolton. Bonjour Marseille.
It's our first time in the club's history in this competition, and we've got through to the last 32. Is a major bonus for us.
We used to be on the good position in the Premier League. That's why Sam don't want to always put the best team one to play UEFA Cup. And that time, I think so, if Sam play the first team, I think so we can reach the final.
I remember telling Big Sam and of course the chairman, I can see Bolton playing in Europe in the next 3 years, you know, and they laughed about it, you know. When we finally did, you know, the chairman called me and said, I remember you told me this, but be honest, did you really believe? I said, if I didn't, I wouldn't have said it.
You famously said if you were called Sam Allardyce, you'd have got one of the top jobs. How much did perceptions about your style of play hold your career back?
There's jealousy in football. People still, this day, trying to talk about a long ball.
The thing with Sam was this ridiculous one-dimensional long ball Sam that everybody thought, but he was a big thinker about the game. He studied the game. And yeah, I think it did irritate, well, it does irritate him now.
Now, in the early years, we were direct, there's no doubt about that, but we turned into a team of great footballers that could play any way we wanted.
I don't know where it came from, to be honest. I can only think maybe that they hark back to Sam's playing days.
I don't know where that came from. Sarah didn't come from us. Sarah didn't play with that. There's no way that was played with that.
He get questioned about his style, but his style was always very difficult to play against. And I have to say, you know, however you play, it's about winning in the end, and Sam would get his teams to win.
The players used to say, Gaffer, this is a disgrace.
Sam used to sort of use that to sort of gun us up and get us going.
We'd have media days where Sam and the analysis team and his coaches and his backroom staff would go through it all and explain what we're trying to do, trying to shift the narrative.
If we'd have played that way, I don't think we'd have been able to sign half the players we did.
It was my fault because I allowed the press to latch onto it. Tell every manager now, when I speak on leadership, do not get labelled like I did. It will hinder your career.
Later on, he changed a bit. He was working with what he's got. He didn't have the players that could really keep the ball. So he had to find a way to win matches. When we started getting more players in, or better players in, if I may, with all due respect, we changed a bit. We were still a bit direct, but in a more constructive way.
Sam is a strong character. He don't scare of nothing. But Sam gonna always tell you what he think and the way you want to play.
Sam made his teams play to their strengths. If situations needed the long ball, if situations needed a robust approach, as in going to Manchester United 2 seasons on the trot and winning.
Nolan! Lightning may be striking for the second time in 12 months. Oh, here's Davis. Kevin Davis, it's opened up, and he's got the goal!
Davis up front when he attacked every cross, and he was quite aggressive, and he had more bookings than Frank Sinatra.
Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger just couldn't work Sam out. Couldn't work him out.
Ruffling Arsene Wenger's feathers.
It's a goal. It's 2-2.
The way Bolton plays, it's not maybe very spectacular, but it's difficult for the defenders.
He always managed to build teams that were really competitive, but not just on the physical side of it. They were hard to play because they had experience, so playing Bolton was challenging.
And it's in from Faye!
What he achieved in the Premier League is not easy at all. He is, I believe, an example of success, and there's a different way of winning games and winning football matches.
It was always Wenger, Benitez. There was the battles for Sam personally.
We got under the skin of Benitez too as well.
Green has dropped it, and it's a goal! Bolton Wanderers are ahead!
All the game is second ball, balls in the air and fighting.
Campo, 2-0.
And always against the big boys, this is a sweeter 3 points than anything else.
Maybe upset the big boys, which he was a master at. He loved doing that, putting a few noses out of place, really.
We all succeeded together. We all felt like we was together.
He's the most expensive player to walk through Bolton's doors, and after splashing out £8 million on Nicolas Anelka, Sam Allardyce is hoping he'll be the best player he's ever signed.
It's the biggest transfer I've done, the biggest transfer this club has ever done. That does throw a little bit of pressure on Nick, but he's used to that. He's played on bigger stages than this.
Nicolas Anelka, I mean, heavens above.
Contract was a good chunk more than some of the others, but I felt that if I needed the quality, I'd have to pay for it. We were always worried about whether we could get to his wage demands, but we just made it, like you mean, and he came. I thought it was terrific.
I'm very simple. I just want to play football. That's it. But I don't know why people say bad things about me, but I just have to speak on the pitch, that's it.
We profile all the players, and that would allow us to set the management team up to manage them for success. Nicolas Anelka's profile was flat. It was a flat-lining profile.
He surprised me the most because everybody, you know, he's known as Le Soul.
If we approached him in a very positive, direct communication style with sort of like positive feedback, he'd engage. If you stepped into him and you challenge him, he would come back.
You know, he came in all these luxury cars, his private jets, so he's a bit different to some of us, I think.
Doesn't really integrate with his teammates, doesn't really fancy it, doesn't really like it. Come to us, he was excellent.
We realised straight away, just treat him with respect, give him his autonomy, let him make decisions, and all of a sudden he just took off. We didn't hear him sulk once.
Too good, you'd have to say, for Bolton at the time.
He was great at questioning everything, and all our lads had implemented what they were doing for so long. We're very confident in telling Nicolas that it would help him, it would make him better.
Sam Allardyce this week had a beer named after him in aid of a local charity. But with the new season ready to kick off, is the Bolton boss feeling strong and smooth, or does he have a sore head?
We have to make really tough decisions in this position, and JJ and Bruno are into the mid and middle 30s now. Legs never carry on forever.
My brain was saying, what's the next level and when's it coming round now? I can't wait until these players can no longer do it. I've got to start bringing in players now who are going to get ready to replace these players that are going to move on. Imagining us eventually after trying to replace Nicolas Anelka, JJ Okocha, Gary Speed, Stelios, Kevin Nolan. Imagine what that's going to cost, because the money's going up and the price of players is going up, and all these players didn't cost us much. We can't keep on with these free transfers, it's never going to happen.
At that point, there was a little bit of friction coming into it, because Sam wasn't satisfied with the UEFA Cup.
I want the Champions League.
Anelka down the centre, and here he is, it's Anelka!
When we got to February, we were very much in with a shout over the time, and he was always asking for that 15 million just to give us that boost and that level. Year on year, when we were just there and we were always just missing out, I think that's where he sort of become tired, because he knew that he got to the top of the mountain and he couldn't go no further, and I think that's where his sort of frustration come.
Sam wanted more big signings. He knew he needed better players to push on. He needed a bigger squad. He went to the board and he wanted backing, and they wouldn't back him.
That word, we don't want to be in the Champions League, was the worst thing that Phil Gartside ever said to me. God rest his soul.
Well, it takes something special to knock Jose Mourinho off the back pages, but Sam Allardyce has managed that even on the front pages of some newspapers today, with speculation that he could be entering the last lap of his Bolton managerial career.
I'm going to ask you about Sam Allardyce. There's been a lot of speculation in the papers today. What can you tell us?
That's exactly what it is, it's speculation.
Is your gut feeling that he'll stay?
And one would hope that he'd stay.
We weren't oblivious to the speculation. I was hoping he wasn't going to leave, you know, because at the end of the day, it's his club. It broke a lot of people's hearts.
The rumour mill was already in overdrive when Sam Allardyce arrived at Stamford Bridge. Just over 24 hours later, the speculation was confirmed by Bolton. The decision to leave the football club, which has been my spiritual home for over 18 years, as both player and manager, is one of the hardest decisions I've had to make in my life.
Sam made it clear a couple of weeks ago that he wanted to step down for his own reasons.
Do you feel let down by that, in that sense?
I'm surprised. You can't say let down, because Sam leaves a legacy here that you couldn't have predicted 8 years ago, and he's done an absolutely fantastic job.
What I didn't expect, in many ways, was it happening so quick. Not once did they ever say, have you changed your mind? Will you stay? They just never did.
I always remember that day coming back from a training. He said, jump in the car back with me, and like, that's when all the lads, oh, Daddy, come back with Daddy, and everything else. But, and he told me in the car then, I remember just like a little bit of a sort of tear in my eye, because I knew it was done then, it was over, you know, because he obviously made his mind up.
I was sad to see Sam leave the club. Bolton is not the same thing anymore.
I just knew it was the end of an era, and I thought, where are we going to go from here?
The worst decision I ever had to make. I just never expected that to happen to me. I never expected that answer. And then you go slap, bang, wallop.
Thanks, Big Sam, for giving me memories that I could never, ever, ever forget. It was awesome.
He's a monster. As a football manager, he's a gentle giant outside of the field.
It was down to one man. He seen the vision. He got people around him to believe it and make it believe and make it come true, and he put trust in a lot of people. I think he's up there with the top managers.
He loves the players. Big heart, yeah.
Could he have managed an elite club like Manchester United?
Yeah, absolutely. I've really enjoyed my friendship with him, and he's a real football man.
Legendary English managers that make even I have a huge respect. I think English football have the influence of them is there. Handle the teams and don't be relegated is when you feel more pressure. The resilience that they have, the way to handle this type of pressure, heads off.
He always gave me the opportunity to talk, to discuss, to dispute, you know, to argue, you know, but there was no hard feelings after that. I've been with a number of top coaches, top managers, top players. He is up there with them, without a shadow of a doubt.
When we're talking about managers who've been successful in the Premier League, I think his name has to be there, because with not very much, he achieved a lot, and that's his success for me.
He made me feel at home. He accepted me, and he's ranked up there. I haven't seen so many managers that are willing to take risks, willing to try something new. His main objective was just to find a way to win a football match.
For me, he's the best coach I never had. The best guy will see on football is Sam Allardyce.
He was everything. He could be your friend. He could be, for some seconds, your worst enemy. He did it because he wanted to be a winner.
Passionate about football and passionate about football people.
You had to perform every single day. You had to innovate every single week.
A proper football man.
It's the character he is, and the way he goes about his business was so unique and so off the cuff in any way, shape or form, how he could better the team an extra 5%. Everything was for the team, everything was for the town, everything was for the club.
Amazing.
Bolton helped create a better Ricardo Gardner.
The best footballing days of my career.
The bond I created with this club and the fans and the city and the community is very, very strong.
Special memories.
It was just an amazing ride.
I wish I had the vocabulary and the words that I could spout out these beautiful, long, big words, but it was the time of my life, an absolutely fantastic era. Loved every minute. And if anybody's watching that used to work for me, thanks very much.